Hello and welcome to the Curiosity and Consciousness podcast. The intention of this podcast is to open your mind, get curious about yourself and connect to the power you hold within. I am your host, Maloney, an inside-out coach, helping you to believe in yourself and manifest your desires. Check out the podcast, available on all platforms, and go to my website, www.karenmaloney.com for all info. Well, hello and welcome everybody to this, the last episode of 2022, and it's just going to be me sharing a little bit with you today. And first of all, I just want to thank everyone again for another year, everyone who listened in, tuned in, messaged or shared the podcast with someone. It is much appreciated, and like that I am asking if people have enjoyed it to please go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review for the podcast so it can help grow even more and connect with more people. And finishing the year, I'm just going to leave you with a short message on when it comes to goals and manifesting and or desires and things that we wanted to do. And I know, certainly I'm sure we all have certain elements that we didn't get to manifest this year or didn't get to create or didn't get to put time to. And, you know, that's okay in one sense. But my invitation as well is if it's really, really something that you truly want, it is to make it a priority in 2023. And, you know, we're all busy. And the only way that we can focus on something new at times is to take time from one activity that we're currently doing that is mindless, that is not moving us towards our goals, taking time from that and redirecting it to what we do want. Because again, our days are full, we're busy, and until we actually really take inventory of where we're spending our time, you really do see how much we all mindlessly waste time. And I include myself in that as well. I'm by no means perfect, but I'm much more aware and try and catch myself if I'm gone down the mindless social media rabbit hole. So when we really do take inventory, we see how much time we actually waste, and especially on social media, especially on our phone, that is not supportive. It's such a habit. It's in our hand. We're 20 minutes in before we even realize it. And we could do this 2-3 times a day. So that's already over an hour right there. So imagine that every single day. That adds up to 7 hours over the space of a week that you could be using that time more productively, doing the work and moving the needle in the direction that you do want it to move. So just a message to maybe reflect over the last year. Take a few moments, see what has worked really well for you, see what hasn't, release, let go what no longer serves you. Don't be afraid to mix things up, to change things up, to do things differently, no matter what anyone else says or thinks. And this is an important aspect because a lot of the time we do have that worry of how people may perceive us if we do something different or start talking about something in a different way, or if we go very spiritual or whatever the case may be. We do worry what people will think. But if we have that to me is a sign that we need to work on our own inner confidence or self-belief or self-esteem, because the truth is nothing has to do with anyone else, and no one's opinion matters of what you do with your life more than your opinion of yourself. So we really have to get our own backing first. We really have to come on board with ourselves first and foremost. We really have to believe in ourselves, because that's what will propel us and carry us through all those moments of doubt, of opinions from others, of comments, of whatever it is. When we have our own belief and faith and trust, we will keep going anyway. It's not to say we may not have moments and get knocked. We will, but we feel our feelings and we keep going, because again, it is each of our own individual life and it's got nothing to do with anyone else. And if you truly want to do something that lights you up and is a passion, you deserve to do that, no matter what anyone else thinks, or no matter if that means you will lose some people in your life. You just have to be authentic and do you. And like that, people will be curious and may ask, or they may fade away, and all is okay. But that can only be true only when we truly have our own backing. So if there is something you really want, make a note of it. Get clear. Write out exactly what it is that you want. Try and be as specific as possible. And when you do that, notice what fears, what limitations, what that little voice inside of you says of, that's not possible, that's too big, who are you to want that, that's way out of your league. Whatever those inner comments are, and then look at them. That's the real work. It's not about giving up on our dreams, but it's looking at our fears and our limitations that tell us we're not good enough or it's not possible for us. And I recorded a podcast on this a while back now, that our work is never giving up on our dreams. Our work is always going within and looking at and revising and reframing what it is that we're holding against ourselves away from what we desire. Again, it's not about dumbing down your dream. It's not about changing it to fit your idea of what you might be capable of or fit someone else's idea of what they would like you to do. Again, it's being authentic with yourself, looking at all your own inner fears, because again, they're all yours. They're not anyone else's. Even if we've picked them up from other people, they're still ours that we hold within ourselves. So that is all our own individual work. To look at them and then affirm, persist the opposite in order to become the version of ourselves that has that very thing. So, the invitation 2023, do things differently, really go for your dreams, do the inner work, because that is the biggest piece that blocks us above any. I don't care whether you say money, time, work, career, nothing is an excuse. There's no such thing as excuses. Yes, there are different realities, but no excuse is ever valid. And we see that the more we do our own inner work, and we see that all these limitations are just our own thoughts that we hold internally about ourselves and about what's possible for our lives. So that's the work. And again, if there is something that you've been really wanting, that maybe you've been procrastinating on for a couple of years, get help. Ask for help. Whether it's me, whether it's another coach, whether it's a therapist, whatever aligns with you, get help. Ask for help. Because yes, we can do it on our own. Yes, we can figure it out. Yes, there's loads of information online. Yes, that's all true and that's fine. But what working with someone can do is speed up the process, because someone can help you see your blind spots that you can't see yourself, because there are blind spots. So don't be shy to invest in yourself to do the inner work, because believe me, it pays dividends when we free ourselves, when we know our limitations, and when we work to change them and rewire them. And that's the benefit of working with someone who has done it themselves and is continually doing it, because they can help you speed up the process, give you the tools that then you can fly by yourself. And, start now. Just make tiny, tiny steps. Just start. Everyone has to start somewhere. Doesn't matter how small the step is. Small, tiny, seemingly inconsequential steps are what get us there, or what add up, or what build the momentum versus waiting for big leaps. Take the tiny steps. Start now. Decide next year will be different. And again, get support if you need it. As the saying goes, the time will pass anyway. So do you want to wait to get to the end of next year again to be in the same position? The time is going to go anyway. So just think, in 3 months' time, in 6 months' time, in a year's time, you're going to be so happy that you started a year ago, then still waiting to take that first step, still waiting to make little inroads. So don't wait. Go for it. It's your life. Enjoy it. And do the inner work to free yourself of all the crap that we hold that holds us back. Because again, it's got truly nothing to do with anyone and anything outside of us. It's more to do with our own thoughts about ourselves, our own stories about ourselves. They're what hold us back more than anything. And that's why the work must always start from within first of all. So that's a wrap. I'll leave it at that for 2022, and I wish you a very festive season. Merry Christmas, whether you celebrate or not. Please take some downtime, reflect, decide who you want to be going forward, and have fun and stay safe. And like that, if anyone does want to work together in 2023, send me an email, support@KarenMaloney.com, and we'll chat. Bye. Thanks for listening. And before you go, I would love to ask you a massive favor. If you enjoyed this episode or any episode of the podcast, I would love for you to leave a short review on Apple Podcasts to help it grow. If you could do that, I would greatly appreciate it.